Dafonum Godfred Yabua Odame and Richard Jakpa galamsey any evidence any fabrication any adien and honsem no Dafonum Yanko na TV3 discussion na course concerning these issues no yanko tie breakdown embra sisia.
That's just an idea of how the reactions after Godfred Dame responded. In fact, he had to go to the office of the CID earlier today upon that particular invitation, and the details, as we've seen, the reactions after that engagement. And you just heard there Frank Davis, who's the head of the legal director of the New Patriotic Party. You saw Gary Nemacombe and the others there, and Dennis Baberi-Wadama is quiet with me, and then you hear some of the lawyers who went there indicate that they went there with a crack team of...
Yeah, that was a crack team of lawyers. Because in there you'd find the respected Leonard Fredibly in the picture. I also saw former Deputy Attorney General. He actually spoke to the press.
Yeah.
You'd find his own counsel, Frank Davis. Also in there, in one of the visuals, I saw Eko, who was the...
Eko Esuman, yes.
Eko Esuman, lawyer to the former president.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot more of them. So, I mean, it's fair to say that it was a crack team of lawyers that accompanied the former Attorney General to that particular invitation by the CID. But just to put matters into a proper perspective, we have been following this issue quite closely ever since it broke, to the effect that Richard Jakpa, from that famous trial of the ambulance, is still pursuing some aspects of the case, which has to do with an audio recording that had him in conversation with the former Attorney General. Also part of that had to do with a meeting that was said to have been held in the residence of one of the Supreme Court justices, Justice Kolendi's residence. I mean, what is of a fact now is the fact that that meeting actually did happen, but the purpose of that meeting is what is in dispute. So the allegation made by Richard Jakpa is to the effect that, the meeting and that correspondence between him and the Attorney General was what he says an attempt by the Attorney General to procure a favorable response from him in order to convict the former the current finance minister, who was the former majority leader in the person of Dr. Kessel Atuforsen. So that is basically the crux of the matter for which we are now before the CID for that to be investigated. In the view of Richard Jakpa, whatever happened amounts to what he says is fabrication of evidence, which is a crime he wants the CID to investigate. We'll soon get into the specific responses of the former Attorney General, who has disputed all of those claims, put the matters in what he believes are the proper context, and why the CID should not even investigate the matter in the first place, because in his view, it is res judicata, means the matter has already been decided. So,
but was this matter decided as part of the court proceedings in the ambulance trial? Because
yes, at a point when this tape came out in the public and it was
admitted as evidence.
Yes, it was admitted in evidence because when it came to light that there was this kind of conversation, then lawyers for the first accused person, who is in the person of Dr. Akestil in that particular matter, applied for a mistrial to say that to the extent that the Attorney General had that kind of communication with one of the accused persons, and as the narration was, seeking to get a favorable response from him to convict him, it meant that it had tainted the whole trial, for which the trial should not progress. So they filed an application for a mistrial. That application was dismissed. And in dismissing same, the court made some pronouncements as to the weight of those WhatsApp correspondence, the audio recording, and indeed the meeting. So that is what he's now arguing, to say that to the extent that the court has made a pronouncement on that matter, it basically settles it.
I see.
For which reason the Criminal Investigations Department should not be looking at it. But the new information we got this evening was to the effect that after all of it all, the former Attorney General was admitted to a self-recognizance bail. So, I mean, that's what we heard from his lawyer.
Sure.
But like I was saying, he basically raises issues even with the allegation itself, trying to put the offense in itself and match it with the facts as they are. And saying that when you look at what constitutes an offense of fabrication of evidence and what is reported to have, or what purportedly happened between himself and Richard Jakpa, it does not have all the elements to ground a charge in respect of fabrication of evidence.
Right.
And to that extent, it falls short. He also raises matters of, like I mentioned, a matter that it has already been adjudicated and pronounced by the High Court, and to that extent, it should not, the CID should not be looking into that matter any further. In law, we say it is res judicata. Now, he also now goes on to give an account of the instances that he and Richard Jakpa met. And he says, in his own words, that without Justice Kolendi, there wouldn't have been Odame and Jakpa. That is to say, the only nexus between the two of them was because he attended upon an invitation of His Lordship Justice Yoni Kolendi at his residence. And that when he was in the residence, then Richard Jakpa, who is a cousin to His Lordship, came to the residence. And that was the only instance that they met. That outside, beside the courtroom and the residence of Justice Yoni Kolendi, he has not met Jakpa anywhere. And that even when he was in Justice Yonendi's residence with Jakpa, he maintained an open mind and he did not do anything that seemed to suggest that he wanted to compromise the ongoing trial. So basically, that is the response of the former Attorney General in respect of these particular matters. He puts it 50-paragraph response to the CID. So we're now looking forward to what exactly the CID will do going forward. Like we heard from his counsel, that's going to happen next. But of course, since the response has been given to the CID, we expect that the CID will be those to now dictate the next line of action. We do know that's not the only petition before the CID. We also know of a petition or a complaint that has been made by one Ghanaian citizen by name Daniel Mafo in respect of the same set of facts, but with different persons. He is seeking that an investigation be opened in respect of Richard Jakpa, who is the complainant in this matter, and then His Lordship Justice Yoni Kolendi. We are looking forward to see if those two would also be invited by the CID to also be interrogated, just as the former Attorney General has been done. But that is also to say that beyond the former Attorney General being before the General Legal Counsel in respect of complaints of professional misconduct, the ongoing trial. So basically, that is the response of the former Attorney General in respect of these particular matters. He puts it 50-paragraph response to the CID. So we're now looking forward to what exactly the CID will do going forward. Like we heard from his counsel, that they really do not know what's going to happen next. But of course, since the response has been given to the CID, we expect that the CID will be those to now dictate the next line of action. We do know that's not the only petition before the CID. We also know of a petition or a complaint that has been made by one Ghanaian citizen by name Daniel Mafo in respect of the same set of facts, but with different persons. He is seeking that an investigation be opened in respect of Richard Jakpa, who is the complainant in this matter, and then His Lordship Justice Yoni Kolendi. We are looking forward to see if those two would also be invited by the CID to also be interrogated, just as the former Attorney General has been done. But that is also to say that beyond the former Attorney General being before the General Legal Counsel in respect of complaints of professional misconduct, he's also before the CID in respect of an alleged crime.
I see. And it's one that...
Okay, so the alleged attempted fabrication of evidence are Richard Jakpa, they are to Godfred Jakpa and Odame Bruhaha. That is the whole explanation to Tia. But say near a cosonina ase. Besanso eshabium in the next one, Macram.